What up, man?
I'm here for a reason to deliver a message, and I'm gonna articulate it the best way I can to you. But I am gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I am not sparing. I can't help how people feel in life, right? Anybody?
Oh Lord.
Here you go.
No,
Don't worry. I
It's
don't.
me that.
Get you a word. Nana nana boo boo.
What up, though? It's the word. You see the title. I'm just popping in real quick. Hey, I don't know when the Bush is watching, but I want to do a live later, talking about the Godfrey and Lil Jamar situation. I want to break down the behaviors because check this out: the behavior tells a story itself. And you look at situations and conditions. I don't know if y'all know about it, but yeah, Lil Jamar tripping. He tripping on Godfrey, but girl, dad, what up, though? Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Man, but yeah, Lord Jamar tripping on Godfrey. And a lot of times, man, it'd be the most simplest misunderstanding, miscommunication. Sometimes people just be in their feeling, but it leads back to the personalities of people, right? What up, though, Bud Files? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. It leads back to the personalities of people, and understanding who you're dealing with. A lot of times you can avoid a lot of these situations and circumstances. And that's a very interesting one. But I was having a conversation with my sister earlier, and she brought up another good topic. Um, we was talking about, leadership, and she was like, well, how, being in a leadership role, how do you manage other people's emotions? We was talking about like emotional intelligence and how to identify within yourself. But, I was telling her the duality of that is understanding where other people are, when you really in tune or just comprehending, when you really observing. I don't even want to say in tune, but when you observe it, you can kind of see where people at and know how to approach the situation. Sometimes it's just better. They say it's not about what you say, but how you say it. You can say things, you can say the right thing the right way and just say it at the wrong time and still have a miscommunication or a misunderstanding. And that's because, a lot of times when people are emotional, they just not listening. They only hearing. And a lot of times they hear things that trigger them. So, if a person can't control their own emotions, a lot of times you gotta wait for people to be outside of that emotion to even communicate with them or to convey what you're trying to say. Because no matter what, they're gonna be head hunting. No matter what, they're gonna be head hunting. But yeah, I just wanted to pop in real quick. The family gone. Sister-in-law came, took the wife and the kids out. They're out at the mall somewhere. So I'm just chilling here. I was playing with that OBS, man. Of watching the game, but my team ain't in it, man. The Lions lost, bro. I'm looking at then Washington about to lose. Like, god damn, bro. I thought this was gonna be like a Cinderella thing for Jaden Daniels. They wasn't having none of that. This might be the Eagles' year, man. I was teasing my brother-in-law because he's an Eagles fan, but this might be the Eagles' year. They might be bringing that Lombardi home. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about that. Liz B, what up, though? What up, though, sis? So yeah, we might rap about that tonight. I don't know which one I want to do. But yeah, it's gonna be an open panel, either one. People get their own opinion. Craig, don't cost a dime to keep it in your own lane. Kindness is always a way of life, not a part of the time. Hey, you reap what you sow. Energy you put out. I was listening to these people argue about free will, right? And it was more of the context of how a person was trying to explain free will. It was more or less arguing about the context because free will is just you doing what you desire to do. But even you doing what you desire to do comes with something. So what the guy was basically saying was because there's a consequence to actions or there's a cause and effect factor. Ain't no such thing as free will. And I understand what he was saying, but it's like the what and the why. Like most people look at the what and not the why. I always dig down to the why. That's why even talking about that Godfrey and Lord Jamar situation, I want to break that down and talk about the different aspects of it because it's the why. Why is all this stuff occurring? You can look at what occurred, but that's just the constant cycles. And even though something happens twice, the circumstances of why they happen is more important than actually what happened. Because if you can figure out why it happened, that's what you can correct. But it's always gonna be negative things. It's just understanding why they occur and how not to put yourself in situations where those things occur, or lower the probability at least. At minimum, you can lower the probability. You can't. Shit just gonna happen in life. That's just what life is. No good deed goes unpunished, right? Like imagine this: you do a good thing for the wrong person, and then you get negative results. And that's what happens a lot, with people. Good people extend themselves to people who don't deserve it, and then the outcome be negative, and then it kind of pushes them away from doing anything for anybody. You know, I had to learn that. Like it's not really about the intent of what you do. You still have to make sure you do it for the right person, or no matter what the intent is, you could still have an adverse um, consequence. You know, you help the wrong people, you get the wrong results. That's just life. D Shep, what up, though? What up, though, D Shep? Yeah, I had to learn that, man. So it's not about like people say, "Oh, you can't trust nobody." It's not about not trusting people. It's more about trusting the right people. You know what I'm saying? That's just to me. That's the easy way out. Saying you can't trust nobody because people are untrustworthy. Okay, we know that, but not everyone. Everyone is not untrustworthy. It's just about being able to identify the right people to trust and giving that to them. Usually, the right people to trust is the people who earn it. Consciously, like not intentionally. I forget who I was talking to, but you ever have people in your life where they just wanted to be a best friend right away? Like they was kind of pushy on everything. Like, oh, you can trust me, you can do it. Just trying to get information and like, nah, that ain't the person trying to earn it. They begging you to give it to them. More genuine people, just from my own personal experience, genuine people usually understand the processes of life. Like, I'm not expecting people to just trust me. That's something that I can earn over time. And if it, like I said, being genuine, you don't mind, you understand, because that's how you are. Those are the people who you can lean into, the ones who be there not only in the good times, but the bad times. Didi, I was sitting there trying to play with that OBS, and I still got a lot to learn about it, but I'm tripping away. I'm learning more and more. I done made a couple new scenes. I got to get all the right plugins because this StreamYard is $44 a month. I ain't about to keep paying this. I do like it, you know, because we can have panels, but you know, we don't really have that many panels over here no more. Well, we had some the last couple of days, but I wanted like a topic and have people join, not just spontaneously, but intentionally, like you know. So you know, I wouldn't mind paying for it then, but that ain't what's going on. So yeah, I might have to switch to something else for now because this stuff getting costly. Inflation is going up. Mr. Gary Busted Down Brown, what it do with the business is. Yeah, I can I'm building up the Discord again because like we was talking, like more people who actually join into these integral conversations, like you know, people don't be wanting to put everything on blast, but you know, building that Discord where we can have those private conversations. That's what I'm building that up now. Hold on one second, it's the wife. Say hi anyway. Just say hi.
Hey, Julie, get. Elena, come here.
All right, I'll talk to you in a minute, but
They're not gonna want to get out of here.
I know that's why I ain't
No.
go. Y'all have fun.
No, that's fine. No, but that's why I wanted to. So I want to tell you really quick. So a little boy, like Chinese boy, starts shoving.
Yeah, they about to set it off at the little thing. Yeah, somebody's was yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm happy I ain't go. Yeah, we would have had issues. I would have been doing a GoFundMe to get me out of jail. Little kids spitting on other little kids. Queen in the building. Who are you talking to? That's one of the things. How the Queen? Oh, you talking to the wife? Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, she they took the kids to this big mall and they got a little playscape in it. Oh man. Yeah, these little ignorant. Okay, let me be quiet. I'm somebody, baby. But yeah, I don't play that with people, little kids. We took them to the Dino Land yesterday. We was having fun there, and you know all the little kids. You know, it was a lot of like the space is big, like the little. So you know the adults was up there with them, but them little kids, you know, some of them was well behaved, some of them wasn't, but man, them little kids for some reason, man, they start running all over me, jumping on. I'm like, oh no, man, I don't even know y'all, but they was just having fun. Kids just being kids, man. Kids just being kids. So yeah, but that's I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, but those are the two topics. You know, I want to break that Lord Jamar down and Godfrey because you know the circumstances, the conditions within circumstances always produce a variety of outcomes. because we can all go through the same thing, but because of the circumstances we in, have different outcomes. That's why that one size fit all shit don't work. I can't stand that. People just, I don't know. Like even, being a life coach or just understanding psychology, that each situation is an individual case, you know. It's not a one size fit all. Like when you're talking about relationship, you really have to understand the person you giving advice, because you can be telling them something they ain't capable of doing. And yeah, maybe it's something they need to build up or something they need to add to themselves, but sometimes that take time. And if you just forcing somebody into something and they have a negative experience, that can affect them where they don't even want to try no more. That's why a lot of people don't get stuff. And I'll be listening to some of these life coaches. I'll be like, bruh, that ain't coaching. That just ain't coaching, man. You supposed to be building these people up, and you setting them up for dummy mission. You setting them up for dummy mission. You telling somebody to go out there and get what they want when they ain't even qualified for it. Not saying they can't be. You just got to build yourself up. That's what we do throughout life. We continuously acquire knowledge or information that could benefit our experience. That's what we're supposed to be doing anyway. If you want to be a doctor in life, you got to go to school and learn how to be a doctor. You got to get the experience of being a doctor. I always tell people to put themselves around the things they desire so they can understand. We can see something and like, oh, that looks like we can do it. We might have great qualities to accomplish it, but you got to know what it comes with, because everything comes with something. You bust your butt all day or half your life to become a doctor. You realize like you sacrifice a lot of time being away from family. But that ain't what you really desire. You just wanted to be a doctor because, all the good things or benefits being a doctor comes with. But you ain't know what it takes to get those good things, the sacrifices you got to make, the work you got to put in. You ain't realize that until you got there. And you realize this ain't really what I want. Even though I got good qualities and I have the intent and the desire, but what it comes with is not what I want. That's like when I tell people when they got that independent mindset and you want to be in a relationship, you gotta share that independent mindset. You coming together as one. So that whole independent aspect is out the window if you want to be successful. If you want to have a successful relationship, you can't have an independent mindset. Just don't go together. That it just don't. And people try to force it and make it work like that, but I wonder why you get the outcomes you do. It just don't work. Now, if you want the benefits that relationships have, but you still want your independence, you just find somebody who desire the same thing. Y'all get together, do what y'all do, and go about your business. This is all you got to do. But for some reason, and this is another conversation I wanted to have, it's really 3D ships. I don't know. I can't deal with one, so I don't know what I'll do with three. But nope. But this is another conversation. Let me ask y'all a question. Do it like through y'all observation, like day-to-day observation, not just on here, just in life in general. Do it feel like people want to be part of like a collective consciousness and they want their contribution to that consciousness recognized or validated or acknowledged? Does that make sense what I just asked? I think I asked Gary that before. It's just like I think that's why people get in so many different arguments when they just have difference of opinions. And a lot of times that's why people with difference of opinions can't come together. People be beefing over political ideas, religious ideas, racial ideas. There's so many, and it's like, why like when I go to the doctor, I don't be thinking about what they religion or race or who they voted. I don't be thinking. Long as they doing what I came here for them to do, I'd be good. And I just don't see how we can't do that when we do it on a daily basis. When you go when you go to the grocery store, do you be looking at the political views of the owner of the store? No, you go in and shop. Even the people who help you, assist you, or cash you out, you don't be asking them none of these questions. Everybody just function and do what they're supposed to do and keep it moving. But even coming together within groups, again, I just think if you don't have a purpose, then that's when all those issues arise, all those differences. King Hazy, what up, though? What up, though? My bad. Let me go back through the chat real quick. No two people are like, yeah, that is alive tonight. You know what, Gary? I was going to either break down the Lord Jamar and Godfrey situation, or I was going to talk about my sister came up with a topic, and I wanted to talk about that, how to manage other people's emotions within the group. Well, she was talking about from a leadership aspect, like if you were a leader, how would you handle people when they're expressing different forms of emotion or different, levels of emotion? So we can talk about either that. Maybe I'll put a poll up. Don't put the people. How many people do you think will rage out behind it being one flag, two gender? You know what? Bro? Again, that's why I'm saying that collective consciousness. Like, if you view yourself as something, that should be good enough. The problem is when you try to get other people to accept your perspective, because that's all it is. It's not perception at all. It's not a perspective. It's your own personal perception, how you look at yourself. So, forcing people to accept what you see, that's just never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. Not everybody, anyway. But why would you want it? Why do you need that? That's the deeper question for me. Like, if you feel you are something, then that's what you are. That's your reality. Why are you trying to get other people to acknowledge your reality or to validate your reality? I've never understood that part. I understand it. I know why. It's just to me, it's like rudimentary. That's something that it shouldn't be an issue, but because people are so anyway, let me go to the next question. Granny, you're wrong. I'm exactly like the other three men. I think that people can do what they do in their own homes, but in public, no special treat. That's how I feel, man. That's how I feel. But are there really three of you? Yo, peace all. King Hazy, no. They want to do it on their own. They have to be right. That's the sad part, man. That's the sad that the majority of people are selfish and only want things when they are convenient for them. Then times and table change, they have a different tone. And that's what I was saying. Like, most people don't care about things until it happened to them. And you almost, that can be argued that, we condition for that because it's like if I'm going through something, right, and no one is there to help me and I overcome it, and then I see someone else going through something, through a similar thing, one or two things can happen, right? You have duality. Either I can assist because I've been through it, I know how I feel to go through it and no one helped me, or I can look at it like, shit, didn't nobody help me, so they'd be all right. I came through it, they can come through it too. One or two things go happen, and that's predicated upon your perception of how you viewed your situation, if you help or not. So I don't fault people. I don't fault people for that, but I don't. I mean, I understand it. I'll just leave it at that. I understand why people do that, because it's like, I don't know, maybe because I experienced that a lot. And I try to help as I can. If I can help you without hurting myself, then I can do so. But I ain't fighting nobody fight just because I fought the fight before. I can't fight your fight because I fought the fight before, So, I mean, it'll be different for everybody. It'll be different. That's why I always like to look at the why. Just accept what exists. Instead of like so often people look at things like it should be like this, it should be like that, and then they get emotionally bound to how it should be, but that's not reality. What reality is what exists. That's just what exists. No, it shouldn't be racism. It shouldn't be poor people. None of that should happen. But guess what? That's reality. So you understand it. It's better to get an understanding on why people be poor, why people are racist. That way, that's the only way you go create a tool or some type of strategy to overcome it when it comes your way or comes around people that you care about. People get too locked into the what and not understanding the why. Teach us how to be decent humans. It is something that should be taught and learned at home. It should be, that the end of that, though, every decision has a chain reaction outcome. Yes, physically and not worldly, I'm a true believer in cause and effect. Everything comes with something. Every decision we make has like what you eat. Like, think about this. What you eat, like if you eat something spicy, it's going to come out hot. So it might taste good going in, but it has an effect. It has a cause. Each cause has an effect. Yeah, it tasted good. It was delicious, but later on, it has a effect. It's gonna burn coming out. That's just how life is. You can do whatever. I was just talking about that earlier with free will. But you can do whatever you want in life. But guess what? It has an effect. It has an outcome. So even, like they say, eventually what happens to me will happen to you. That will occur. So sometimes if you don't help, eventually it's gonna be your turn. So I mean, it's just weighing options in life. That's why I say it's better to understand what things come with. For far too long we have praised a divided home and a country full of loveless, lawless people. Yeah, it's I was just having a deep philosophical conversation with a potential client. They was kind of interviewing me because, one of my niches is spirituality. And the conversation went, I was just telling people, I was just explaining me, right? That's all I can do is explain me. I'm not saying the way I live life or the way I perceive life or even my perspective of life is right for anyone. It can be right for you. It could be useful. You could use some of the things, or it can be totally the opposite, right? That's just reality. But, if you ask me my opinion about things, that's all I can give you is my perception. So I was saying, like, it's sad. It's not like Craig was saying, being decent to people should be taught at home. I believe that, but it's some in people, man. It's in some people and it's not. It's an innate desire not to be, bad, to do the right thing, to be righteous. Is when you, in my opinion, when you have a soul, is in you. It's just in you. Yeah, you learn different ways to do it and learn different ways not to do it. You know, as a kid, we think as a kid, we act as a kid. So we might do something with the intention of having fun, but it may hurt people. We may not understand that yet because we don't have the experience. So yeah, it should be taught at home. But like as adults, you still need a lot of people use religion, spirituality, um, to I guess guide them to be good people, you know. Um, and I understand, but that you shouldn't need those things to know how to be good to people, you know. That should be something that you acquire over time with experiences. You learn how things feel. This don't feel good when people talk about me. So why would I talk about other people? You know, it don't feel good when people accuse me of things that I didn't do to try to attack my character. So why would I do that to other people? I mean, that should be common sense, man. Once you experience something and you see how it made you feel, that should make you at minimum aware of how it can make other people feel. So they say hurt people hurt people. Those people didn't learn. They didn't. The experience molded them into something negative. That's just I'm just talking about at the why. Like, why do hurt people hurt people? Because they've been hurt. That's what's in them. People can only put out what they got inside of them. That's all they can put out. Young Riaz, what up, though? Skort mom in the building. What up, Skort? That's all people can put out. So, like, when you see people are just being nasty, that's what's in them. That's just what's in them. And I don't fight with people. I mean, if that's what's in them, I just stay the hell away from them, you know, because I mean, it's no, you know, they have to put that out because that's what's in them. You know, a lot of people are broken, they don't heal, and they don't even have the desire. I'm not gonna say all. Some people don't know they're broken. Unfortunately, well, they don't think. I ain't gonna say don't know. They don't look at themselves as broken, but if you got bitterness, anger, envy in you, that's brokenness, man. You ain't supposed to be living with that inside you. Yeah, those are feelings that, you know, we all go experience, but you can't ruminate. You can't make that part of you. You can, but I'm talking about that ain't a way to live. That is not a way to live, to be angry and upset and mad all the time. That shit translates over to other things. You can be angry and mad at a situation you've been through 20 years ago and have a current experience, and you taking that energy out on other people. You know, they remind you of this, they remind you of that, and that's how you project, and that's what you project into them. Like that, man, that I ain't got time for it. Once I recognize that, I just be like, okay, I see where they at. That's social and emotional intelligence. You know, we have to be aware of who we can communicate with and who we can't. You know, some people it's just not worth your time. It depends what time you're on. Sometimes you make time for stuff like that, but you just gotta recognize that, man. It ain't hard, you know. It do take work, but it's not hard. It do take work. Everything takes work. Sometimes you have to back away from things and let them rest and approach them at a later point in time. Yeah, you do. You do. Oftentimes, like if I feel some type of way and I'm trying to rationalize my feeling, I just step back from the situation. Especially if I'm like angry and mad, because if I don't identify why, it's just gonna get worse and worse. You know, the situation is gonna get worse and worse. So you gotta step back. That's self-control though. You walking away shows self-control. You reacting, that's you being controlled. A reaction is predicated upon an action, meaning someone did something to get you to do something. So you are no longer in control. I had to learn how to respond. You know, a response is a well thought out action predicated upon a action. So when you respond, it's more likely you will have a beneficial. It's going to be more beneficial to you. Now you are in control. You know, and if you know that's a skill. Being able to respond versus react, that's a skill. You know, and until you master it, or till you at least perfect it, yeah, do yourself a favor and just walk away. Self otherwise can seriously damage an open, wounded, emotionally, physically, soulful. Yeah, yeah. Man, you know, people misdiagnose situations, you know, because they often, I don't know, man. Like, I just don't understand. Like, when we talk about words over here, and I try to explain to people, same ain't similar, you know. So is the context, and people really use words out of context. But if they understood the meaning of words that they're using, they understand what they're doing. A lot of times, right? People often use perspective and perception as interchangeable words when they're not. You know, oftentimes we talk through our perception of life, and that's predicated upon us downloading information with our five senses, right? And it often entails on how we feel about the situation, while a perspective is us evaluating and observing the situation and examining it and seeing what exists, no matter how we feel about it. It don't matter how we feel, is what exists. So oftentimes people tell you how they feel versus how they think. You know, and feelings usually override thought. Most feelings create thought. You know, that's why people will believe and accept things they can't prove. So just understanding that concept, we can look at something like, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm tripping. Let me step back. Maybe I don't have enough information. You know, just like that Lord Jamar. Look, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Look, we all, it's levels to everything, and there's certain things like, uh, I'm not a scientist, right? When people talk about flat Earth, I got an idea, I got an opinion, but I ain't got no facts, man. I ain't never been up in the sky that high to outer space to look and see if the Earth was round or flat. I can look at anything anybody has said, any research. I can look at all that, but you still go think and feel some type of way about it. I don't take that from nobody. But what I ain't gonna do on either side, I'm not gonna argue with somebody who got more knowledge, you know, because or try to even debate them, because that's when people get in their feelings. And yeah, he got towed up by that scientist. No matter if you believe in flat Earth or not, he could not. You, bruh. Mm-mm. Lisa, what up, though? The money woman is in the building. Lisa J. Stocks, y'all. What up, Lisa? Sometimes feelings are signs of giving control to someone. Yeah, and that's the important thing. Is like understanding your own feelings, you know, and recognize. Like that's why I say, like when you feel something, ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel this way? Is it me? Is it the circumstance? Is it the situation? Am I just having the bad? Understand your own feeling, because oftentimes we equate the feeling to the action. Because this person said or did something, it made me feel this way. So now this person is bad. Instead of understanding what your feelings actually are, your feelings are like navigational signals. That's all it is. It's telling you, it's like an alarm system. Like something is wrong, something going on. We need to identify this. There's a beacon, like a signal, right? When you feel something, like if somebody said something to me, and I felt negative about it. Why do I feel negative? Is it truth to what this person's saying? Is this person just making aware of something that I know about myself that I tried to hide, or something that I know I need to work on? There's so many different reasons why people get triggered, or their emotions, or they feel something about what other people say. Instead of just thinking the other person is bad, a lot of times it's just because, guess what? If that person can trigger you like that, other people can too. Now that becomes a weakness. Now you become a liability to yourself. So I had to learn, like, if somebody said something, it was times where, people talked down and I felt some type of way because I felt like, oh, you just acting like you better than me. No, that's what I was thinking. I was literally thinking, oh, this person, because they got this and they got that, they better than me. And when they presented that, then it made me upset. Who are they to feel like they better than me, even though I think they better than me because they got all these material possessions, or because they got this degree, or because they had a certain stat? I felt that was my insecurity, and it upsetted me because they played on it. But guess what? When I fixed that, they couldn't play on it no more. I never feel like somebody is better than me. And I'm not saying people aren't better than me, because that's reality. There's people who's smarter than me, people who got more of this or more of that. Yeah, they better in that aspect. But as far as how somebody gonna be better than me, you can't be me better than me than me. I'm me. I'm my own individual. I'm comfortable in my own skin. So technically, can't no one be better than me. I am me. I am an individual. I'm having my own individual experience. So no, you can't be better than me. You might be better in different aspects of life than I am. And that's fine, because guess what? That gives me the opportunity to learn from you. That's you, Shep. I see you, brother. Oh no, I'm just looking for this little thing now. Well, you just want to show your goggles? What is that, bro?
VR.
Shep just want to show out. What up,
All
brother?
right, I'm gonna go. I'll let everybody see. Nah.
You're a nut.
Nah, what's going on, man? Figured I'd come up. I'm going to never come up here. What's going on with you?
Man, my bad. Water went down the wrong pipe. Trying to talk and drink.
Yeah,
But no, the family done left me alone, so I'm just here acting up.
yeah,
Just acting up.
losing your mind and left you by yourself. Don't know what to do.
Yeah, man. I was playing with this OBS trying to get this straight, because StreamYard be taxing me. And I had a
What's the
couple
what's the
comments.
what's the OBS? What's that?
It's another streaming service.
Okay.
Yeah, but I want to do my reactions on my other channel. I want to try to build I want to get this channel going too, but I want to do reactions on my other channel and start. My wife told me, if I'm gonna do this, then do it. Use whatever time. She said, my wife told me that. She said, stop making excuses. She said, I know you ain't got time to do this, but utilize whatever time you got to do it. And so I'm like,
I
okay,
get it.
so that's what I've been doing. My wife, she know how to put her foot in my butt.
A lot of fire, a lot of fire.
Yeah, that's why I say she my better half, man. She know me just like I know her.
Now, yeah, I mentioned something earlier, man. I said I was playing a damn game. Got a cold zombie game, a boxing game too. That I love. But you mentioned something earlier, man, about people's use of words and they really don't know the definition of them. I thought that was intriguing because it reminded me, as I was typing in the chat, of a conversation which I would call a lightweight debate with this lady that was calling a buddy of mine that's in the chat, whom I actually know personally. We're both electricians, from the same local. It's called him a racist, and I'm like, you may be an asshole, maybe self-centered, maybe prejudiced, but racist, nah. Just based on a comment that he made about Asians and Rex. I'm like, and I asked her, I said, well, do you know the definition of the word racist? She's like, yeah, the standard definition. And mind you, no disrespect, I'm talking, I didn't even realize it at the time until she mentioned it. I was talking to a white lady. Well, she cool, and we had, like I said, it was real cool, respectful. But I'm like, well, damn, she's like, oh, so you basically using the equivalent to I have black friends. Like, no,
Oh.
I'm like, that's not how it
Mm.
works. So you know what? Your opinion is your opinion, but there's a big difference between being a racist and being prejudiced. And I tell you, I grew up around racists, actual racists. I've been in prison with actual racists. And I've also got a lot of brothers and sisters in my local that are prejudiced as fuck, but not racist.
Mm-hmm.
And she just seemed to really not want to admit that there's a difference because one, you can't be if you're a certain hue. It has a whole different the definition and the logic behind it is just a whole different world as composed. But everybody has prejudices.
Mm-hmm. It's hard not to prejudge. And that's what prejudice is, is a
Yeah,
prejudgment. It is
yeah,
nothing. And you know what? A lot of people who say people are racist, they use it in the context of racism. And
right.
oftentimes, when people say, "Oh, you racist," it's like racism and racist is two different things. I don't believe racist is bad, and I'm gonna tell you why. Not from the definition that they made, but by the construction of the word. You know,
Okay.
when you look at race, that's just different groups of people. I mean, that can be argued, but just for a general understanding, right? So different groups of people. Now I'm talking about the construction of the word, how it's a compound word. So then you add the
Mhm.
prefix, which is ist, and when you look that up, it tells you proficient in something. So if you take the construct of the compound word race and is someone who is proficient in their race. That's what race is by construction means, not by definition. By definition is it got to do with hate. You hate someone. You
Yeah,
know, um,
you have to actually have the power to oppress a
and
group of
that's
people
and that's
in order to even have
racism.
race, be a
Yeah, now
racist.
that's
To
now
practice racism, you know what I mean? You have to be a racist to practice racism. But my whole thing with that word, race,
where
I don't like using it because it's a social construct. And
mm-hmm,
we're the only country that actually uses that word in the context of what we use it in when we're all just different ethnicities. And that's a word that I use a lot as opposed to race, which is more of a factual word than this made up fucking word, for this, made here. You can take ethnicity around the world and people to know what you're talking about.
and you got to look at uh, all words have meaning, and the meaning of the etymology of the word. Like when you say it's a
Mhm.
social construct, like when you look at race and you look at the metaphysic aspect of race, comparing the human to the actual ideology of when we think of race, we think of race like we running, we competing
Competition.
against one another. So I mean, it's deeper than what people think. So I think that's dope how you said I don't even use that because it just builds the like even when you say different races of people, the first thing people start doing, well, which race is better, and you do that subconsciously.
Mhm.
That's just how the way we
It's something
categorize
that we've
things.
been programmed to.
Yeah, you've been indoctrinated to do. Nene, what up, though? So I mean, like when you said social construct, but you can't tell everybody that. That's facts, bro. That's fact. I mean,
I mean, when people don't even know how the word even came into play.
hmm
When you go back to when they were, westward expansion, they was racing to see who got to the west coast, building the railroads, and that's how race actually even came into play during that time and for that reason, and it just stuck. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, no, I can't correct you on that. To be honest with you, um, I haven't. I usually generally look at the etymology of it, not the historical aspect. But that sound about right. I mean that that's something easy. But it like I said, I'm a student as I be teaching too, so that just brought me new awareness to later indulge in. But that makes sense. It's logical. Just using deductive reasoning, I don't see a problem with especially.
I mean, if she wasn't, you went out. Or is it me? Can y'all hear me? Was it me? It wasn't me. Oh shit, I think it is me. Oh, no, maybe not. Okay, wasn't me. Well, people, how are we doing? Shazbot and Shaganini and Gary, how you doing there, bud? Oh, I'm absolutely sure. I had to realize what was going on there. Yeah, I'm cool, man. I'm really cool, Gary. Just hanging out up here. You know, at least word be boring, but have shit to talk about. Me, I'm just here.
Bro, I ain't even know. I don't even know how long I was talking when I fell out the studio. I started laughing and looked up. I'm like, oh, I guess my joke ain't funny. And I looked. I'm in the StreamYard waiting room. Like, they had me in the StreamYard waiting room, bro. I wasn't
At
even
first,
in
I
the
thought it
room.
was me because I stay in the chat and I saw something like circling behind the chat, and I'm looking like, that is me. Oh no, it wasn't.
Dang, I don't even know how long I was down. Nene, what up, sis? What up? But no, I was saying what you said. I don't know how long, I was saying, but no, that
No,
sounds
that's not
about right.
good. I was saying though, that it wasn't that she was a bad person, and then because we actually prior to that happening, we actually having a good conversation about some of the changes that are, the executive orders that have been put in place and the effects of them. But yeah, then he came in and my boy came in and he just talking, having a good conversation. He said something that obviously struck a nerve, and she kind of called him a racist and a sexist. So, yeah, he may be a little bit sexist, but still not racist.
And
Yeah.
I mean, like even in psychology, right? For people to get these labels, do you know it has to be like um a consistent behavior, right?
Right.
Like a lot of times when people say, like you said, I think most people are prejudiced. Probably 98% of the people
Oh,
we
absolutely.
prejudge. That's just. I mean, some people call it foresight. You know, I mean, but
Right.
even think about this: how easy it is to prejudge. It's to be around someone, a situation happen, and you don't know this person. You see how they react, and then you assume like, okay, this is this person's normal behavior. This is how they is. Oh, eventually, it's gonna be a problem between me and them. That's prejudging.
That's
Instead of
exactly.
understanding like, oh, was there a stimulant that made this person do this, or have you observed the consistent behavior? Different circumstances, this person still does not have a change of behavior, even though the
I got
circumstances are
one for
different.
you, and it's
Uh-huh.
just something that we all use, and I mean everybody. I would say out of between on a scale of 10, I say 9 3/4 people use this day. When you say the first impression is the last impression, that's a form of prejudice right there,
Yeah,
and that is
it's
so
just
crazy.
TWP. Nene, yeah, I'm about to get it. I'm about to get back into it. I'm about to really get back into it because like people, like even when we think of spirituality, a lot of that describes behavior and different personality, different aspects of ourselves. That's why I say like different, like we can be one way 1 minute and then something can happen and we transform into a whole different person, predicated upon, the circumstances. Like man, you can be kicking it, right? But something it put my family in danger and I just turned into a wolf, bro. Relentless, not caring about, you know what I'm saying? But that's just different aspects about us. And that has a lot to do with our, like what people want to say spirituality. I'm trying to articulate myself in a way that people in science understand spiritual, because people in science just they focus on consciousness, right? And they don't understand, like, even when I talk about emotions, if you ask me what an emotion is the language of our soul. That's how our soul communicates with us through various emotions. The feelings are how we perceive of the emotion. But if we don't understand, that's our inside trying to communicate with us about what's going on the outside. Those feelings are daddlepated at best, confused, mixed up at best. So, I mean, they try to, like, even, do you know the etymology of psychology? Like the word psychology, when it was created, meant the study of the soul. And later on, they equate
To
what they were studying to our consciousness.
the
There's a reason why,
coldest
bro.
thing. No, the coldest thing about emotions, man. And I've been noticing this more and more and more as I actually started paying attention to it. Is emotion? I say 99% of the time, bro. Emotion overrides. That's how powerful emotions are,
Hold
and
on, you
people
said
don't even.
you went out 1 second. You said emotional override, and you went out.
No, I said emotion overrides logic
Yes,
99% of the
yes,
time.
yes.
And that's how powerful emotions are, because you can sit there and put the truth in an emotional person's face, and just based on whatever it is that they have on their mind at that time, that emotion is so strong about, they're going to overlook all that. And the truth will not
Overlook,
be the truth.
and it won't even be overlooked, bro. It won't even be considered, bro. And this is
Man,
what I was trying, bro. This is what I was trying to tell people. I forgot. It wasn't on here. I was having a conversation with one of my youngins, and I'm telling them, I'm like, bro, emotion is a belief. I mean, I was telling him belief is an emotion. He's like, no, it ain't. Belief is a conscious thought. He doing his thing in psychology right now. In philosophy, I think he going more towards philosophy, but he was like,
okay.
no, belief is a conscious thought that you dwell. I'm like, bro, no, it's not. I said, belief
Mm,
is a feeling. It's something you feel, bro. It's literally, and you can't, like, if you feel something that's more powerful than what you can think, because that feeling won't even allow you to think. It won't allow you to
yes,
rationalize nothing.
yes,
But
yes,
when that feeling dies down, then what happened? You'd be like, damn, I probably shouldn't have did that. Man, I ain't gonna
yeah.
lie to you. I mean, I can talk to you like this, bro. I done popped somebody in the mouth before because I was upset, and I'm like, damn, bro, I probably shouldn't have did that. That's just gonna cause a whole new issues or problems that that's not needed.
But that's
But
how
shit,
most,
we
that's
here
how most
now.
extra problems end. Something that could have been avoided, but the emotion overrode the logic, man. And now you done made
Hmm.
a fucking move that, yeah, I probably shouldn't did that.
Yeah. Like now you
Yeah,
thinking about it, rationalizing it, like, bro, that's one thing I had to work on. That's why emotional intelligence is so important to me, bro, because I realized not only in me, but looking back at my life, how many people lost their life because they weren't even
stupid
aware or had
emotion.
control over their own emotion. Yeah, especially like being young and black from the inner city, man.
But
You be
some of
going
us
through
don't
so
get a
much.
chance though. Some of us
Yeah.
make that emotional mistake, and that's the last mistake they ever make.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I got
Learn,
plenty of
learn,
homies that ain't here no
learn.
more. When I hear and just started out, I gave it just a bit of thought and realized that the reaction that you was about to make was not the best one for that situation. But because you're pissed off and already high on emotion, you went on and did that. Now it's done.
And Nene, I think I'm gonna break that down one day because somebody was asking me about the witching hours. I'm like, that ain't witching hours. They tell you so much stuff so you can think negative about it and you will never utilize it. But though between the hours of 5, and that's you have to adjust it with this Gregorian calendar shit with the time forward and backwards. But I believe isn't that within? I gotta look again. I know it's 3 and 5. I mean, it has that 2 hour span because of that. You know, that's why we created that 2 hour span. But you'll still be within an hour where the veil is lower. You can communicate with God, and what that means is just even when we say that, I try to find ways to try to put into like a practical understanding. But even, I mean, you have to go to frequency. You know, between those times, when they say the veil is lower, it's just the frequency you resonate at. You are more in the relaxed, more calm. Not too much stuff is going on around you, and that way you can focus and communicate with the higher power, the Creator, and God. But they call it the witching hour, and I mean, I guess you got duality within everything. Just like you can communicate with your higher self, you can communicate with your lower self. So that's what people use it for. But that's how they prevent you from tapping into what's natural to you.
So would you say that would be would it be safe to say that would be the most heightened time, of mental relaxation?
And I will say this because usually around that time, just I'm gonna try to make it make as much sense without because that's how the people attack it is when you can't make things practical. So think about this: you are most relaxed when you awake, but when you are in the transition of sleep. So even at that aspect, that's when you're more spiritual. It's like you in between those two realms, the physical realm that
Right.
you're on now and the dream realm. Because we all can agree when we dream, we are not in the field of consciousness as far as the current reality we're in now. We're in a whole different
No,
total
fact,
reality.
fact.
Right. So when you in the midst of those two aspects, that's when you can tap in to your inner self. That's like the best time to, tap in.
Yeah. To
That's
your
why
inner self.
people take different drugs put you in limbo like that, like ayahuasca, DMT,
Mushroom.
different. That's why people shrooms. People can put you in that state, right? In that, you know. So that's
Yeah,
why
that
people do
peyote,
that.
man.
Yeah.
I was actually we did a job out on the reservation. I met this cat from the Navajo tribe, right? And we were real cool, and I was telling him, and I was really being serious, seeing if we just happened to be on a Paiute reservation though. But he was saying that he was gonna speak to some of the elders, because what my whole thing was, I wanted to go on a vision quest.
Uh,
When I broke it down to him, why, he understood. He said, I'll sponsor you. I just have to get a hold of the elders here and see if that's even feasible, because everybody hear about peyote and they always want to use it for whatever, all the wrong reasons. And not unfortunately they said no, but just the fact that he knew that I was dead serious about doing it, you know what I'm saying, to try and get to be
I
to take a walk in that realm between realms, you know what I'm saying.
I will say most of them you just gotta pay them, bro. They do it. You know.
Well, I mean, it wasn't
We don't.
necessary to me first, but if they would have been cool with it, so it basically just came up in conversation he was having.
Yeah, we use so our vision quest we use peyote, but our cleansings in our spiritual walk, we use ayahuasca. So
Okay.
peyote is cool, but the ayahuasca, that shit, you be gone for like a day or two, bro.
See,
But
I would be able to,
you need a
dedicate.
guide though.
Yeah.
I would never do that without a guide. And I do that every 7 years, through my cleansing.
Right. Right.
And once a year with my, so it's like going into the harvest. It's like shedding one skin to make room for the new skin. That's what like our vision quest is, or our
And
spiritual
that's
walk.
exactly,
Uh,
and that's
yeah,
exactly why, that's where my interest is really peaked, because I really feel that there's some shit that I need to get rid of, and make transition to something new, something better, so to speak. And I think that would be ideal for what I'm trying to
LA Project. What up, though? Hey, G, my 33 brother. If you can, anybody with a wrench, Ria's in the building. If you can drop LA Project link, I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, she be having some good conversations over there. We was over there building the other day. Yeah, that was a good conversation. So definitely good conversation. But yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I'm actually,
Yeah, I
but
try to take the, because like you read a lot and you practice a lot of what you read. So, I can have a conversation with you and you comprehend what I'm saying. But a lot of time, reason I try to break it down like that is practical because like if you're not a practitioner or something, you won't really know.
right,
So
right.
you got to kind of, it's like communicating on people level, and that's just something I'm learning because people be trying to debate, and I'd be like, bro, like they was like, well, explain your soul, explain this. I said, bro, if you not like, I practice Buddhism, I practice Hinduism, I practice it. I didn't just read about it. I see the different benefits of meditating, doing different forms of meditating. I'm understanding how it resonates with me and what benefits it has. And like even doing spiritual work, like when I was saying, like when most people say like they do a spiritual walk, they tell you they're going on different planes you
Right.
it's more like it's more of looking at myself from an outside perspective, the experiences, getting understanding and wisdom, knowing why I went through stuff or why I go through stuff, um,
Hmm.
to better explain the experience I'm having.
And it's giving
So
giving a better understanding of who you are and what a lot of times what your purpose is or what direction you should be in, as opposed to
and
where you
how
came in.
and understanding like how what I say and do affect not only me but people around me. Like I didn't
Mhm.
really understand all that stuff, and it's looking at it from a totality,
And
like
who
my
LA
life.
Project?
So I'm sorry.
No, I was speaking that. So
To
go ahead.
LA, yeah, she cool, man. She cool beef, man. Shout out to Young Riaz. He shared her out one day. And you know me, I'll be sitting back watching the decorum, but sus be on some. Anytime people get on the intellectual or asking thought provoking questions, I be on it. I be like, yeah, that's what I like. I like to think. I like my brain racing. Um, it's good to have an open mind. Yeah, yeah. Like even like everything comes from one source. Like that's just reality, right? Everything is a source. Looking
Right.
at different like spiritual practices, different religions, they all similar but they ain't the same. And like looking at history, you look and like what most people don't do is even when they look at history, they don't look at the geopolitical history of the situation, like what was going on at this time to cause these different things to happen. And then you start understanding why certain things were written certain ways and why certain laws was implemented in this time period versus that time period. And when you look at it like that, like man, you start understanding how even we are today, we all can experience the same thing and have a different perception of it. predicated upon our own personal experiences and how we view it. But our perception don't mean it's a fact. It don't make it right. You know what I'm saying? That's just how we look at it. You know, if you get an overall consensus of things, then you get different, you know, you get a different consensus of what's actually occurring. So, my bad. What was you saying?
No, I was just saying perception and perspective, man. That plays a lot into a lot of what how people will understand something.
Mm-hmm. Now, even that, right? Somebody was trying to debate me. He was like, I understand. I'm like, but you're not comprehending. Oh, it's the same thing. No, it's not, bro.
No, it's not.
I mean, understanding is just knowing from the beginning to the end. Comprehending is knowing how you got to the end from the beginning. So comprehension is all the meat and potatoes that go into the cooking, all the ingredients. You just know how to eat it. You just know what the food is and how to eat it, but you don't know how it's cooked.
You know, understanding is the gumbo, is the root for the gumbo, and you know, comprehension is all the ingredients that you put in the roux.
Mm-hmm. And so even my bad, go ahead, brother.
No, I'm cool. Go ahead.
And that's what, you know, that's why I don't know, bro. That's why I got all these different little series and be talking about all these. I be trying to, you know, they say subliminal, right? But is a term superliminal. Is basically comprehension of a different level. So it's like planting a seed, right? You give people the information and eventually it'll grow on them. It'll germinate on them. So superliminal is not like throwing a shot, but you're saying something that's making people think. It's more thought provoking. You know, so, you know, even being in that mindset, you know, a lot of times, like I was trying to, you know, I'd be talking metaphysical a lot. So even in the, as a comedic teaching of understanding, understanding, overstanding is the three processes of thinking, right?
Right.
Well, that's comprehension is equivalent to overstanding. So, you know, using these concepts that people ain't familiar with a lot of time, like I said, because they're teachings, these are things we inspired to learn, to do, to grow. We use different analogies and metaphors to get to that point. But nowadays, people just, you know, microwave society. So the best way I can explain overstanding something was comprehension.
Right.
But that's still a skill, bro. That's still work you got to put in. People don't want to do that. They just
You're
want.
right when you say that comes from different teachings. Like, you know, in certain prison systems, you know, like you may have different groups. I'll just say different groups. And I'm not talking about like gang members and all of that shit. So like, you know, Africans and, you know, just different ethnicity type groups. And they all have different philosophies. And a lot of them use the term overstood. And when someone that isn't used to that hears it, it's just something that sounds good to say. But they don't really comprehend what it actually means, which is to comprehend.
I'm over the information. You know, most people who understand that they and that like even like in like bro, even in like philosophical groups I'm in, that's like an insult, bro. When you tell somebody, like when you tell, you understand what I'm saying, they'd be like, that's like insulting because you're literally telling me you're under the information.
Let me take this call. Word, I'll pop back up in a minute, bro.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeah, so yeah, I love having conversations like that. My brother D Ship. But yeah, I just wanted to pop up here. But that's what I'm gonna do later. I didn't know if I was gonna break because I want to talk about the behavior behind both of it, you know, all of it, and understanding. I'm getting a comprehension of what occurred, you know, looking at the circumstances between Godfrey and Lord Jamar. Because like I said, it'd be like it's easy to understand a person's intention And I say it's easy, but it's hard because you have to observe and you have to look with an objective eye. And a lot of times, when you like somebody, we usually look at them in a subjective way. We make excuses and justifications for people we like their bad behavior. Um, yeah, that's our people. We will do that, but a person's behavior, like this is the easiest. This is what I use. One of the tools I use. Right. I always look for stimulants. Is it a reason why a person exhibits bad behavior? Because if it's a stimulant and then that stimulant is not in the environment, then guess what? It won't occur. This is a lot of times, we all have boundaries, we all have standards, right? And if people cross those boundaries, we will defend ourselves. So that's why you might get people being aggressive during particular times. That's understandable to me. They defending themselves, a defense mechanism. But if a person is just nasty, they will look for reasons to attack. I don't really deal too much with people like that because it becomes a distraction, and eventually it'll be your turn. That's just how the world works. Eventually it'll be your turn. So yeah, me personally, I just try to, and it's the reason I try to avoid conflict is because I'm busy. I'm trying to get shit done. The less conflict I got, the more time I got to get done what I need to get done. Unless it's necessary, I just don't believe. I rather, just keep it moving. And it's for various reasons. I enjoy peace. I enjoy my peace of mind. I enjoy my piece of little piece of reality. I enjoy peace, man. Been through a lot, still going through a lot, so I enjoy peace. So I protect it as much as I can. So that's why I think avoiding some conflict you can't avoid. That's understandable. And when you can't, just be ready. Like I said, I'm a light switch. I'm either on or off. When I'm off, leave me alone. Because when I turn on, you can't tell me to stop. That's just how life is, right? That's how my life is, right? When I turn on, then I'm on. But when I'm off, leave me alone. So that's how I go about it. That just works better for me. I'm glad you came on early so I can interact in the chat. I love getting the info, even catching the replay. Oh, for sure. I'm going to try to come on early more often. I got two small kids, 2 and a 5-year-old, and yeah, my daughter, she already thinks she like running a podcast. So I can't even turn my laptop on when I'm around. And I'm getting my office together. I'm almost done with the basement. We almost done, rather. I gotta get rid of some more toys, and I just want to redo the floor, and I'm gonna get the floor redone, and I might get well, when I get the floor redone, I'm gonna get a certain section done for my kids to play, like a little mat, little mats. I'm gonna get part of the floor done like that. So it's just getting some stuff together. It's been a long time coming, but it's getting done slowly but surely. So I have my office slash studio because I got my office now. It's just still a whole bunch of stuff in there. And then on the outside of that, I'm building a studio. So, and then I'm down a little bit. It ain't down the hall. It's all the same room. It's just, it's a big room. So on the other end of that room, I'm gonna have my kids' play area. So when I'm down there, they can still be playing, and I probably won't be able to record or go live. Or anyway, man, look, I got kids, right? So it is what it is. Dark Lake, what up, though? What up, though? Appreciate you, Craig. I enjoyed peace. This is an interesting quote. I think it shows the state of the world that enjoying peace is like a special event instead of a default settling for life. Have a good show. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I enjoy peace. It can sound like an event, or it's all about perception. It's showing because the same way. So I break that down as something that was inquired and realized. Um, but no, I understand the aspect you're saying too, because peace is not something normal in the world, which it should be, but it's just not. That's just not the reality for a lot of people. You know, a lot of people are born into chaos. You know, so when you finally find it and experience it, you know, oftentimes you with things like that, you often find new creative, inventive ways to maintain it, right? You know, just like a good woman, there's the work doesn't come in acquiring a good woman. The work comes in keeping that good woman. You know, I can tell you that I think about every day how I can make my wife smile or how I can make her happy or how I can contribute because you can't really truly make no one happy, but I can be a positive contribution towards that, you know, smile, towards that happiness, you know. So just even thinking about that, you know, when you get something, I don't take too many things for granted no more. Nothing really. I don't really take nothing for granted. I appreciate it. You know, just like when we talk about the creator, I stopped praying a long time ago. I started praising because anything and everything I ever desired or needed was always given. So just staying in that mode of gratitude, being thankful, you know, even for the hard lessons in life, you know, being thankful for that. Um, because the most traumatic things that happened to me in my life has built and gave me helped me create the perspective on how to analyze different things within life. Um, yeah, that's like people that have done certain stretches in prison, and when they come home, can't use the restroom without noise present. Bro, it's it's crazy, bro, how trauma affects us, man. How trauma affects it. And I had to learn that. Like this is something like it's oh man. This is always and see I don't like throwing a blanket on everything, but I'm giving you uh but this is a tool, right? I don't even like saying solutions no more, but this is a tool, right? To trauma. Is to learn from it. And a lot of times it's hard. But the lesson sometimes is not for you to learn for yourself, but to help other people. So you may go through something very traumatic to prevent someone else from going through it because maybe you're strong enough to overcome, but other people ain't, you know. And someone told me, oh, you just convinced yourself. I just convinced myself of that to make me feel better about what I went through, but it was still wrong. I never said what I went through was right. But I'm telling you, everybody built different, right? Some of us are built emotionally tough. Some of us are built physically tough. Some of us are built spiritually tough, right? And the circumstances and situations we go through in life will affect us, not if on all three levels, but maybe one level helps us heal to the next level. And what I mean, like if I am mentally tough, but I am spiritually weak, you know, going through a situation, that mental toughness can help alleviate some of that being spiritually and physically. You know, there's a lot of things, you know, I've been through because I was mentally tough that it got me through the situation and I was able to heal from it later on because I got through the situation. I didn't keep reliving it. I didn't let the situation break me down mentally, but it still didn't feel right. But as time passed, I was able to heal from the way I felt because of the way I was thinking, if that made any sense. So, yeah, learning. That's what always helped me because, like I said, you can't really explain why people hurt kids or do things to women or anything like that. Hold on one second, my family here. Let me let them in because I think it's raining. All right, let me get off here because it's about to get real. Mimi, I appreciate you, sis. Hold on before we go. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely be back on later. It is definitely about to get louder now.
This one. Let's make this one. Money.
Appreciate you, Nene. Appreciate you. Yeah, let me get out of here because my house is about to get loud. But I will be back tonight later on. I'm gonna put a poll up in a minute, and whatever topic y'all want to talk about, we can talk about that. Or I can do a open panel. So I'll put a poll up in a minute. But y'all know what I always say: care about how you feel. These are conversations to build nations. And if I say anything that resonated with you, do me a favor, hit that share button, tell somebody, help me spread the word. But until next time, we out.